It's horrible.
Around a week and a half later, I went and I bought a new car. And as I'm driving home, just on a credit view over there, I saw my old car with the license plate on it. This person's driving around with my license plate, with the car they stole, in this neighborhood for a week and a half, and then nothing's happening. I have to find the person who stole my car and then call the police. It's just ridiculous.
I just wanted to come and say sorry that you have to go through this. You have our commitment to make sure this has the attention it deserves. I'm sorry that it's happened.
I just want to say first that we're sorry that you're going through this.
ਇੱਥੇ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਇਹਦੇ ਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਲੀਕਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਮੇਰਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਜ਼ੀਬਲ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ ਸੋ ਇਹ ਅਨਦਰ ਵੇ ਆਫ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ
The fact that we were being pestered with emails, thank you.
Let me recall the meeting we had December 6, 2020. Mr. Sean McKenna, we had a meeting and Madam Kara was there too.
That is the protocol. But the problem is, it's not. I just met this young man here for the first time today, and he is very upset. I have this lady besides me who is very upset. They take notes, but what is happening? I mean, and it's just, we could have you guys here today because we all assembled together. If I came to your office and I mentioned this, maybe you would not have entertained me. Maybe this fine gentleman would have entertained me. Maybe Madam Kara wouldn't have entertained me.
From Dollarama. I'm not, or any dollar store. It works. All I do, it's a tin. It's just a tin, right? Put my key in there. And if I were to go to my vehicle right now, this is unfortunately an older van, so it doesn't work. This is more, we're talking about the the push start vehicles, which most of all these higher end vehicles have, the newer ones have, right? On the signal, you have to try it. Go into your vehicle, press the start while it's in the tin or the Faraday bag or container, and see if it works.
It is definitely a concern. What we're looking for really is immediate action.
We really need to find a solution if you have a solution, and we don't want to take the law in our hands. So, but on the same hand, we do want it to be addressed. So please take some action. Enough of talking, enough of hearing. You know, the story is the same.
In that meeting, everybody told that something will happen. It will happen. We will do something. But the problem is getting up and up and up. But now is the time for action and delivery.
ਵੈਲਕਮ। ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਹਾਂ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਰਿਜ ਨੇਬਰਹੁੱਡ 'ਚ। ਆਹ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਮਿਸਿਸਾਗਾ ਰੋਡ ਐਂਡ ਵਿਲੀਅਮਸ ਪਾਰਕਵੇ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨਰ 'ਤੇ। ਇੱਥੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਟੋ ਥੈਫਟ 16 ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ 3 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ 'ਚ ਇਸ ਰੀਜਨ 'ਚ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋਈਆਂ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਰ ਸੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਨਵਦੀਪ, ਮਿਸਟਰ ਸੰਦੀਪ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਕਰਾਉਣ 'ਤੇ 100 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਲੋਕ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਮੈਂਬਰਸ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ। ਬਾਕੀ ਵਿਕਟਮਸ ਨਾਲ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਟੋ ਥੈਫਟ ਹੋਈਆਂ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕੁਛ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਟਿਪਸ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋਈ ਔਰ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਆ ਦੱਸੋਗੇ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ। ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 8:15 ਵਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਨੋਰਮਲੀ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਸੈਟਰਡੇ ਵਾਕ 'ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਮੈਂ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਡਰਾਈਵੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖੜੀ ਸੀ। ਇਟ ਵਾਜ਼ ਅ ਸੈਟਰਡੇ ਮਾਰਨਿੰਗ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ 8:15 and immediately when I came to know that my car has been stolen, there was a tracking device in the car. It was hooked to my cell phone. ਤੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਾਈਫ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਵੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਡਰਾਈਵੇ 'ਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ, ਮੈਂ ਵਾਕ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਅਰਾਊਂਡ ਦ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ, ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ 'ਤੇ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਅਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਅਤੇ ਉਹਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਫੋਟੋ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਕਰੀਨ ਸ਼ਾਟ ਲਿਆ। ਮਾਈ ਕਾਰ ਵਾਜ਼ ਲੋਕੇਟਡ ਨੀਅਰ ਬਾਏ ਦ ਵੈਰੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਆਫ ਮਾਈ ਵੇਅਰ ਆਈ ਲਿਵ। ਔਰ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਮੀਡੀਏਟਲੀ 911 ਕਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਡਿਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ। ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਦ ਤੱਕ ਕਾਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਾਰ ਅਜੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈ ਹੋਏਗੀ। ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਮਾਈ ਕਾਰ, ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਡਿਸਕ੍ਰਿਪਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਮਾਈ ਕਾਰ, ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਨੰਬਰ ਪਲੇਟ। ਸੋ ਕੈਨ ਯੂ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਯੂਨਿਟਸ ਔਨ ਦਾ ਰੋਡ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਇਨਫੋਰਮ ਕਰੋ। ਤਾਂ ਜੋ ਮੇਰੀ ਕਾਰ ਅਗਰ ਜੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਈ ਤਾਂ ਅਗਰ ਰੋਡ ਤੇ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਟਰੇਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ, ਬਟ ਇਟ ਵਾਸ ਨਾਟ ਹੈਲਪਫੁਲ। ਸੋ ਫਿਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਹੀ ਜਿਸ
ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਰਿਸਪੌਂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ?
ਕੀਤਾ ਜੀ, ਪਰ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੰਨੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਇਨਫ ਅਜੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਸਿਰਫ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਕਾਰ ਨੂੰ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ। ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਪਰਸਨਲੀ ਉਸ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ 'ਤੇ ਆਪ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ, ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ ਅੱਧਾ ਘੰਟਾ ਨਿਕਲ ਚੁੱਕਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਔਰ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮੇਰਾ ਟਰੈਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਵਾਈਸ ਦਾ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਹੈ, ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਗੱਡੀ 'ਚੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਮੈਂਟਲ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਸੀ, ਬਾਹਰ ਕੱਢ ਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤੋੜ ਕੇ, ਤੇ ਉਹਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਨੇਬਰਹੁੱਡ ਦੇ ਫਰੰਟ ਲਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸੁੱਟ ਕੇ ਗਏ ਨੇ।
ਸੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲਿਆ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਟਰੈਕ ਕਰ?
ਮੇਰੀ ਲਾਸਟ ਪਾਰਕ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ, ਜੇਕਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੈੱਲ ਫੋਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਕਟਿਵਲੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਟਰੈਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਵਾਈਸ ਨੂੰ ਲਗਾਇਆ ਹੋਵੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਪਾਰਕਿੰਗ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜਾਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਖੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਿਆ, ਫਿਰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹੀ ਦੇਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਦੱਸੀ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ। ਸੋ ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ, ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਰ ਨਾਲ ਕਿਸੇ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਵੇਟ ਕੀਤਾ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੀ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਾ ਜਾਓ ਆਪ ਪਰਸਨਲੀ। ਤੇ ਫਿਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇਬਰ 'ਚ ਮੇਰੇ ਹੋਰ ਇੱਕ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਦੋਨੋਂ ਜਣੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਗਏ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਉਹ ਸਾਡਾ ਟਰੈਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਵਾਈਸ ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਵਗੈਰਾ ਉਸ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਫਰੰਟ ਲਾਂਚ 'ਚ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਤੋੜ ਕੇ ਸੁੱਟ ਗਏ ਸੀਗੇ। ਸੋ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਦ ਪਿਕਚਰਸ। ਐਂਡ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਫਿਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੋਰ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਦੂਜੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ, ਮੈਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੋਸਟਲੀ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਵੀ ਵਹੀਕਲਸ ਥੈਫਟ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ, ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਬਥੇਰੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਓਪਨ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਔਰ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇਹ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਹੈ। ਔਰ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦਿਖਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹਾਂਗਾ ਇੱਥੇ, ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਬਾਅਦ 'ਚ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਸਿਲੀਕॉन ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਫਿਲਮ ਪਾਈ ਹੈ, ਸੋ ਦੈਟ ਮੇਰਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਜ਼ੀਬਲ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਸਕੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹ ਅਨਦਰ ਵੇ ਆਫ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਅਗਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਦੇ ਕੰਮ ਆ ਸਕੇ ਤਾਂ ਆਈ ਵੁੱਡ ਥਿੰਕ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਅਸੀਂ ਹੋਰ ਅੱਗੇ ਹੋਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਫਰਦਰ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੋਰੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਛ ਹੱਦ ਤੱਕ ਬਚਾ ਸਕੀਏ।
ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਕ ਮਾਡਲ ਦੀ ਸੀ?
It was 2020 Lexus RX 350, which is the highest stolen vehicle in the community or in the Peel region right now.
ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਕਟਿਮ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋਈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਫੇਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਕੈਮਰੇ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਆਪ ਬੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਵੇਰੇ 8:30 8:15 ਦੇ ਵਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਫੋਨ ਤੇ ਟਰੈਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਵਾਈਸ ਤੇ ਪਤਾ ਚੱਲ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ। ਸਾਰਾ ਟਰੈਕ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ, ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕੀਤੀ ਗਈ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਚੋਰੀ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਮੇਰੇ ਡਰਾਈਵੇ ਤੋਂ, ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਫਿਸਰ ਭੇਜੇ ਜਾਣ, ਟਰੈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਆਫਿਸਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਾ ਜਾਈਓ, ਕਿਸੇ ਪਾਰਕ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਗੱਡੀ ਖੜੀ ਸੀਗੀ। ਮੀਨ ਟਾਈਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਥੀਵ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਿਕਚਰਸ ਦਿਖਾਈਆਂ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਦੇ 'ਚੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟਰੈਕਿੰਗ ਡਿਵਾਈਸ ਦਾ ਮਦਰਬੋਰਡ ਚਿਪ ਕੱਢ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਡਿਸਟਰੋਏ ਕਰਕੇ ਲਾਂਚ ਸੁੱਟਤਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਫੋਰਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਇੰਨੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗੇ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰਨ ਕਿ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਕਿਹਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਮਾ ਹੈ? ਸਾਡੇ ਚੁਣੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੁਮਾਇੰਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਜਾਂ ਫੈਡਰਲ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ, ਚਾਹੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਸਿਟੀ ਲੈਵਲ ਦੇ, ਕਿ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਕੋਲ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ। ਫੈਕਟ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਈ ਹੈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਆਪ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਗਰਾਊਂਡ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈ। ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ। ਆਹ ਟਿਪ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦਿਖਾਇਆ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਗੱਡੀ ਨੂੰ, ਜਿਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਹਰ ਗੱਡੀ ਤੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਡਿਸਪਲੇ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਿਲੀਕॉन ਦੀ ਸ਼ੀਟ ਪਾ ਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਥੀਵਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਆ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੈ, ਉਹ ਪਿਕਚਰ ਖਿੱਚ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀ ਉਹਦੀ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਤੋਂ ਕੱਢੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਬੜਾ ਅੱਛਾ ਇੱਕ ਟਿਪ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਨੂੰ, ਮੈਨੂਫੈਕਚਰਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਐਡਵਾਈਸ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਨੋਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਇੱਥੇ ਡਿਸਪਲੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਸ਼ੁੱਡ ਬੀ ਇਨਸਾਈਡ ਜਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਗੱਡੀ ਦੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਪਾਰਟ ਤੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਬੜੇ ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਟਲੀ ਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਹਾਈਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ। ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਬੜੇ ਟਿਪਸ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦਊਗੇ ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ। ਇੱਕ ਫਾਬ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਮੇਨ ਡੋਰ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਨਾ ਟੰਗੀ ਜਾਣ, ਕਿਸੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਜਿਹੇ ਬਾਕਸ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ। ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਵੀਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਕਿ $1.5 ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ, $1.25 ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਛੋਟਾ ਬਾਕਸ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜਿਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ ਕੀਜ਼ ਰੱਖੀ ਜਾਣ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਸਿਗਨਲ ਸਕੈਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਾਰ ਆਟੋ ਥੈਫਟ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਿਪਸ ਹੈ ਸਾਨੂੰ YouTube ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ, ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੇਖਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੈ। ਇਸ ਵੀਡੀਓ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਅੱਗੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਪਲੇ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ, ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਅਫਸਰ ਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਤੋਂ। ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਦੇਖੀਏ, ਆਪਣਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਨਿਭਾਈਏ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਨਾਲ ਅਕਾਊਂਟੇਬਲ ਰੱਖੀਏ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਤੇ ਚੋਰੀ ਕਰਨ ਤੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਚਾ ਸਕੀਏ।
We need a pragmatic, practical approach. We need an immediate action plan. So to say that this issue is going to be resolved and taken care of and it's on your radar, it doesn't do anything for anybody right now. So what we need is like a plan. And I'll give an example, like a plan to say, look, 5 cars have been stolen in the radius of my home, right? So a plan would be to say, look, we have a problem. We're going to assign 3 police officers for 6 weeks patrolling the streets and try to get these culprits and put them behind bars where they belong. So we need a plan of that nature that has details, that tells us the start date and end date, what's going to happen, who's going to be involved, so that together we know something is actually happening, instead of saying, you know what, we'll take care of this and it's on our radar, we understand. You know, sympathy is great, but we need action. Thank you.
We want to assure you that as you work with police, and there is nothing more important than you keeping police informed of activities that are happening day to day that are of a suspicious nature. There should never be someone parked out in front of your neighborhood or in front of your driveways taking pictures for no reason. Report it. If you see something, you must say something so that police are aware. And as the incidences here have increased over time, police will mobilize resources to apprehend these individuals if that can be done. But without quick, direct information being passed on to police, they don't know. And so, well, I just want to impress upon you how important it is. If you see something, please say something to police. And I have Superintendent Gormley's assurance that when you make a call to report about suspicious activity here in your neighborhood, they will take note, they will write it down, and they will work to address it.
Paul, thank you very much. Yes, that is the protocol. But the problem is, it's not. I just met this gentleman here for the first time today, and he is very upset. I have this lady besides me who is very upset. They take notes, but what is happening? I mean, and it's just, we could have you guys here today because we all assembled together. If I came to your office and I mentioned this, maybe you would not have entertained me. Maybe this fine gentleman would have entertained me. Maybe Madam Khera wouldn't have entertained me.
My call store, not from the neighborhood, just a parking lot away. I had to wait around 9 hours for a police response to my home because they wouldn't come where it happened. So they told me that, you know, this happens all the time. We'll probably get the car when they're done with it and when they have their fun. It is what it is. I said, okay, fine, that sucks. Around a week and a half later, I went and I bought a new car. And as I'm driving home, just on a credit view over there, I saw my old car with the license plate on. So I got out of the car, I went next to the car, and then a person came, and then I had to hold the person there while, you know, I had somebody else call the police for me. But this person's driving around with my license plate, with the car they stole, in this neighborhood for a week and a half, and then nothing's happening. I have to find the person who stole my car and then call the police. It's just ridiculous.
Over the past 3 budgets, we have increased police budgets every single year. That being said, as Superintendent has stated, it's difficult when someone arrives in your neighborhood and swipes a vehicle. The police need to respond as quickly as possible and get that information as quickly as possible. And so one of the things that, as we always say to members of the community, if you see something happening in your neighborhood that appears to be suspicious, you see a vehicle that you have not seen before, you see someone taking pictures of the driveway, you see someone parked, they're sitting there, you haven't seen them before, ask yourself the question, why are they there? And what might I want to do to inform my neighbors, police, and ensure that those individuals are well aware that you are watching them. It is a testament to Peel Regional Police that they are responding here to you and are here to help all of us. So I want to thank Peel Police for being here today and for the presentations that they are about to deliver, because you will learn some techniques and some tips that you can employ within your own home to make your home and to help your neighborhood be safer. And with that, I'll pass it on to Mayor Brown.
Well, thank you, Councillor Vicente. Let me say I've seen some of the videos and heard some of the concerns about car thefts in this area, and it's horrible. There's no way to say anything else other than it's horrible. You expect to have safety in your community. So a few things I wanted to share with you today. One, I have spoken to Chief Nish, and he's told me that it's on their radar, that they're going to be focused on the incidents that are happening here, and it's evident the fact that you've got Sean Gormley here, who's a senior member of the Peel Police. One of the challenges we have across the GTA is that criminal organizations try to profit off industries like this of stealing cars. 2 years ago, the Peel Police embarked upon a vast investigation that actually nailed one of Canada's largest car theft syndicates. It was quite incredible. I think there was about 40 to 50 police officers involved. There was a warehouse that they were taking cars to, taking it to Turkey, then taking it to China to sell them. And because of the diligent work of the Peel Police and the large investigation, they were able to catch that syndicate. But part of the problem is that new syndicates come forward. And we have to adapt, we have to focus resources. But we're a busy region. And I don't want to sugarcoat it. I want you to know bluntly the reality we face. We've got a lot of gun and gang activity in Peel region. This is not a small town anymore. We have domestic violence calls. We've got human trafficking, and the Peel Police have to tier calls. And so the more serious incident gets the first call. I wish they had an officer to respond to every call that comes in, but bluntly they don't. And it's why we're trying to increase resources for policing. It's why we're trying to increase neighborhood stations. And we're trying to make sure that Chief Nish has the tools to do his job. But what's very helpful is sometimes we don't hear about a pattern. And what's clearly happening here is a pattern of criminal activity where they're trying to take advantage of this neighborhood. I'm a big believer that when they focus their mind on it, we have some of the best in Canada with the Peel Police. And just 2 weeks ago in a different park in Brampton, there was a person who was attacking women who were in broad daylight. There was a series of attacks in different parks, and they got him. And they got him because the police used modern technology, incredibly effective investigative techniques. And so I have confidence now that you have really shined the light on this. The fact that you have every level of government here is evident. You have shined the light on this. And so thank you for actually caring about your community. The fact that we were being pestered with emails, thank you, because it caused us to really pay attention to this and to have conversations, to be here, to be present. And I know at some point the chief was busy today, but I'm sure at some point he's going to want to come and talk to you as well. I know he's got one of his top superintendents on this file as well. So you have our commitment to make sure this has the attention it deserves. I'm sorry that it's happened. The federal government has been very helpful in some of the new mental health initiatives, because some of the people who are committing these crimes are people in crisis. The provincial government has given us new funding to help combat guns and gang, along with human trafficking, and so those new resources are going to help the Peel Police.
I won't repeat a lot of what the mayor and Councillor Vicente already talked about, but the fact that you have every layer of government right here with the police, you've had our ear. And I just want to say first that we're sorry that you're going through this. We've heard that over the last few weeks, it's been a very challenging time for this particular neighborhood when it comes to car thefts. But I can assure you that we will work together and ensure that we get behind the people that are doing this, so that when you leave your home, that you feel secured, that you feel safe. That I can assure you. And to the organizers that actually organize this, I want to say thank you to you, because we don't hear about some of these things sometimes otherwise.
So the question, I guess, for you really becomes the information aspect of it. I understand there's no patrolling. I understand there's not enough platoons to do that. So how can we spread the information about how our vehicles can be secured if there's a key fob? How do we spread that to every single house in this neighborhood, so that when these criminals come here, they stop coming because they realize there's nothing to be stolen?
The young lady's very well spoken, and I really don't have much response to say that, first of all, from a customer service point of view, if officers told you that it's not a police problem, that's on me to correct that, because I'm telling you it is a police problem. But I will re-advocate to say it's not a police problem alone, and we do need to work with our political counterparts. We have to work with the Insurance Bureau to try and develop strategies. We really need to find a solution if you have a solution, and we don't want to take the law in our hands. So, but on the same hand, we do want it to be addressed. So please take some action. Enough of talking, enough of hearing. We know the story is the same, or the stories are the same. We need to take quick action.
I'm pretty sure that we are not in a position right now to make any decision, but I need just one commitment from the whole team here that once you go back, and I'm sure you will be working something on this one, I need a communication source where we can get the information. Okay, after this meeting, this thing happens, and this is the update for the whole community. This is important for me and for my community for our peace of mind.
Councillor Santos unfortunately was not able to be here, but she wanted me to impress upon you that she takes this matter also very seriously, and we are both here to listen to you, but also to take the necessary actions. Police are here, and your members of parliament are here because we are responding. And our office is open at all times to receive any feedback or information that you could send to us, and that works in reverse as well. If you can send an email or call our office and get in touch with us, and we will respond back to you. And if we can get your information from the folks who have been organizing today, we will make sure that as we get more information from Peel Police, that we're getting that back to you directly. As your regional councillors, it is our responsibility to interface with Peel Police and respond to you. So you have our commitment, both Councillor Santos and I promise you here today that we will always be in touch with you specifically on this and on other matters in the future as well.
Spare time on this weekend and come out and address us, but addressing in itself is not a solution. So what exactly are you doing? When we need you, sometimes you guys are busy, I understand. We are all human beings, and we have our own priorities, but this is a common issue. I think I have heard stories including police officers' cars having been stolen, but we need to address it, and we need to know how exactly we are going to address it.
Start like an email chain just specific on this issue with all of us representatives, with some members of the team, so we know what's happening from all levels of government.
Let me recall the meeting we had December 6, 2020. Our Superintendent of Police, 22 Division, Mr. Sean McKenna, we had a meeting, and Madam Kara was there too. So, in that meeting, everybody told that something will happen. It will happen. We will do something. But the problem is getting up and up and up. It's a time for action. Like doing something, looking in the matter is a good thing. But now is the time for action and delivery, because it's a long time. It's a pandemic time, it's a long time, people are frustrated, and happening these kind of incidents make the residents unsafe and unsure.
I would like to bring to the gentleman's attention, you know, I had a license plate stolen a few months ago, and that's obviously, I had to call police. Police came to my home to inquire and all that, but and I appreciate the police. But one thing I would like to say is that I've been running during COVID without license plate for at least 3 to 4 months. And I've been calling Peel Police every day at the station. Can you please tell me what shall I do? Though I work in the legal field, but you don't know each thing of everything. So, and I've been running around, nobody responded me what to do. And finally I had to go to the ministry office to get another license plate. But at least we should have something, some outlines which should help us. You know, okay, if your license plate is missing, well, we are intervening, we are investigating, but in the meantime, you go to ministry and buy another plate. You know, things like that which common people and common man does not know.
So I'm obviously cognizant of everybody's time. So a couple of things I'd like to talk about. One is, so from an investigative standpoint, I can tell you that there are active investigations on the go right now, not just with Peel Regional Police, but with police services across the Greater Toronto Area. As I mentioned earlier, if you were here, these high-end auto thefts, it is organized crime. This is a problem that goes beyond our neighborhood. It is, as the mayor said, it happens in Toronto, York region. these people are stealing these cars for the sole purpose of profit. They're not joyriding. They're taking these cars and they're shipping them, similar to what the mayor was saying earlier, overseas to countries where they don't care if stolen cars are driven around. I hear your frustrations. Absolutely, it's unacceptable, some of the things that have occurred today, and it's something that I'm going to take back to my team. The one thing though, and we didn't get a chance to hear from our crime prevention team, I'd like for him to come up and speak to you about some of the things that we can all do together. What I endeavor to do for you though is I will make sure that I touch base with Councillor Vicente, with MPP Kara, and have a discussion about some of the things that hopefully from a political will, we'll be able to address some of the issues, especially with the vehicle manufacturers, the fact that you're going to hear now how these vehicles are stolen, how easily they're stolen, where they can get tools that literally you buy online and they'll be able to steal your car. It's very, very challenging for us to stay ahead of that technology. So I'd like to pass the microphone over to Constable Wood to share a few words about some of the things that he's aware of in his role as a crime prevention officer.
My name is Constable Michael Wood. I work in crime prevention services. I've been in that role for about 2 years. I've been a police officer a little over 15 years now. And in the last 2 years in crime prevention, a lot of my talks, town halls that I've been doing in the last month, I just did one across the street in Ostrander last week. I did one at Bartley Bull. I've done a bunch online for Mississauga and 11 Division. And a lot of it is the same concern when it comes to the high-end vehicle thefts. So with the vehicle thefts, and I'll probably step on my colleagues' foot here as to how they're being stolen. Some of you may have already had video of this, right? So there's a couple different new technology ways that they're using. One is the relay theft. They're using a device, usually in tandem, okay, where one person would be up close to the home with a device that's stealing the RFID signal, so that every time you use your fob, I can probably do it from here. Everybody quiet? Can you hear my command? Look how far that is. That's got to be about 100 meters away, right? I'm not Usain Bolt, so I'm not running over there to see, but that's far. That's how far the signal can travel. But what they're doing is one device up by the home, and you can see these on video. If you go on YouTube, some of your colleagues may have this as well, some of your neighbors. They'll take the device, go up and try to steal that signal. Another person will be at the vehicle with the second device, and that signal will be stolen from your home, from your key fob to the vehicle. Don't even need your key, just need that signal. A couple ways to combat that, and some of you are already probably doing it. There's called Faraday boxes or Faraday bags. You can get these online, probably the easiest way to get them. You know what I did? This is from Dollarama. Or any dollar store. It works. All I do, it's a tin. It's just a tin, right? Put my key in there. And if I were to go to my vehicle right now, this is unfortunately an older van, so it doesn't work. This is more, we're talking about the the push start vehicles, which most of all these higher end vehicles have, the newer ones have, right? Simple as that, okay? Now the signal, you have to try it. Go into your vehicle, press the start while it's in the tin or the Faraday bag or container, and see if it works. If the start button doesn't work, you know that this little thing is working, okay? That can be something as simple as $1.25 to prevent the relay theft. But sometimes criminals aren't prepared for other devices like this. They may get into the vehicle, but something as simple as this. But other vehicle locking devices, this will go on the steering wheel, lock on the steering wheel, has a little key, okay? But it may be something that the criminal or somebody stealing the vehicle is not prepared for. There's other devices that go on the brake itself, okay, to lock the brake, where you may be able to push down the brake a little bit, but not enough. So if they won't be able to properly switch the gears, because you need to push down the gear fully to switch any of the gears in these vehicles. And if they get up to a certain speed, they won't be able to stop. Definitely dangerous, okay, for them and everybody else, but hopefully that'll deter them. They see the amount of money, they see the vehicles and the opportunity, right? If you have a garage, some of you have 3-car garages. If it's not being utilized, that's the easiest way to harden that target. Park your vehicle in the garage. If you can't, move on to other items like I talked about here. If you have multiple vehicles, well, officer, I can't park in my garage. I got too many vehicles. Lucky you, right? Well, I got maybe family in there. Maybe utilize another vehicle that might not be as attractive, okay, and park it in tandem. So have that vehicle in behind, closer to the roadway, and have the more higher end vehicle up against the garage, nice and tight. That's another option too.
It's horrifying to hear about the car thefts in this neighborhood, but I'm grateful we have Chief Nish's support to go after this syndicate that's been involved in car thefts. Just like criminal organizations have been sophisticated, the police need to be just as sophisticated, and it's why resources are being allocated to go after the syndicate behind these car thefts and make sure that people can have their sense of safety back.
ਹੈਲੋ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਕਮਲ ਖੈਰਾ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆਊਟਰੀਚ ਇਵੈਂਟ 'ਤੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਹ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਿਦਿਨ ਦ ਲਾਸਟ ਮੰਥ 16 ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਾਰ ਥੈਫਟਸ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਲ ਲੈਵਲਸ ਆਫ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਇਜ਼ ਹੀਅਰ ਟੂ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਸੋਲੂਸ਼ਨਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਕਿ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਅਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੀ ਹੀ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ਰਸ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਆਹ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਕਰਕੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਟਾਪ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਰਟੀ ਫॉर ਮਾਈਸੈਲਫ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਟਾਪ ਪ੍ਰਾਇਰਟੀ ਫॉर ਐਵਰੀ ਸਿੰਗਲ ਪਰਸਨ ਇਨ ਆਰ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਟੂ ਇਨਸ਼ੋਰ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਐਂਡ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗੀ ਕਿ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਆਹ ਇੱਕ ਉਪਰਾਲਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ 'ਚ ਨਾ ਹੋਣ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸੇਫਟੀ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੋਰ ਵਧਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਸੋ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ
ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਜੀ ਅਮਰਜੋਤ ਸੰਧੂ ਮੈਂਬਰ ਆਫ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵੈਸਟ ਰਾਈਡਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਅੱਜ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਵੈਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨੇਬਰਹੁੱਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਜੀ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਵੀਕ ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਇਵਨ ਡੋਰ ਨੌਕਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਦਾ ਨੇਬਰਹੁੱਡ ਕਾਫੀ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਆ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਸ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਡਰਾਈਵੇ ਤੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਲੋਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਟੀਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ-ਇਨਸ ਹੋ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਰੱਖੀ ਗਈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੰਸਰਨ ਸੁਣਨ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਤੋਂ ਰੈਪਰਜੈਂਟੇਟਿਵ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੈਪਰਜੈਂਟੇਟਿਵਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਉਹ ਦੱਸਣ ਲਈ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੈਕਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾਟ ਓਨਲੀ ਦੈਟ ਆਲ ਲੈਵਲਸ ਆਫ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਹ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਔਨ ਗੋਇੰਗ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਵਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਇੱਕ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਣਦਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਜੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ GTA ਦੀ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰ ਥੈਫਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਬਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 4.5 ਮਿਲੀਅਨ ਦੇ ਵਰਥ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸੀਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਵਾ ਸੋ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਔਨ ਦੈਟ ਅਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੱਧ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਟੂਲਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕੀਤੇ ਜਾਣ ਐਜ਼ ਅ ਮੈਟਰ ਆਫ ਫੈਕਟ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ 2018 ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਪੈਰੇਟਿਵਲੀ ਹੁਣ ਕੰਪੇਅਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਅਤੇ 25% ਜਿਹੜੀ ਐਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਵਿਲ ਕੰਟੀਨਿਊ ਟੂ ਵਰਕ ਵਿਦ ਦੈਮ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੀਆਂ ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਮੀਟਿੰਗਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਵਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਫੇਰ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਜੇ ਕੋਈ ਸਾਡੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ਼ੀਅਲ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਗਨਜ਼ ਐਂਡ ਗੈਂਗਸ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਫੰਡਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆ ਜੀ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਆ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਿਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਾਈਡ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਅੱਜ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਡੈਫੀਨੇਟਲੀ we'll try to address that, work with different levels of government ਕਿ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੈਗਾ ਨੂੰ ਟੈਕਲ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ
So thank you very much for the members of this community for coming forward to discuss the problems of auto thefts that are going on. This is something that is at the attention of the Peel Regional Police, and we will be working with the community to try and investigate the crimes that have happened and to certainly prevent future ones from occurring. It's events like these that really make a difference in our community. So I commend the organizers for putting this together. It's a great collaboration between everybody that was here today, and I'm sure that we'll make some positive steps moving forward.
So my name is Sam Butko. I just live in this neighborhood, just a few streets away. So around a month and a week ago, I had my car stolen just from 5 minutes away from the neighborhood, just in a parking lot. I called the police at the time. I was told to actually hang up and call a different line and that somebody would be with me shortly. That wasn't the case. I mean, I waited 9 hours for a police response at my house. Around 3 in the morning, finally somebody came. They told me that this happens all the time in Brampton. It's a known issue, and that my car, whoever took my car, they'll probably find it when they're done, when they had their fun with it. That was the quote that I was told. So that was fine, and then it sucked. I said, okay, fine. I got they told me to call my insurance. I called my insurance. And then about a week and a half later, I'm driving my new car that I bought in the neighborhood, and lo and behold, I see my stolen car with the same license plates a street away from my house. Now, you can imagine at this point I'm thinking the people who stole my car are going to probably looking to break into the house as well. They're looking to do other things, frustrated up to the sky because police haven't done anything. They told me that the car's just going to be around. So I pulled over next to the car. I was there with my mom, out of all people, and told her to call the police while I try to see if there's somebody around the car. Somebody did come to the car, and luckily it was a younger female. It wasn't very threatening, and I was able to sort of stay with her there until police arrived. And they took her in and they locked her up. But it's just ridiculous. The fact that I have to go around the neighborhood and look for my stolen property myself while police are telling me that they're finding when people have their fun with it, it's just completely unacceptable. I this is a always been a safe community. This is new here. It's never been quite like this before, where people are just brazenly stealing cars. It's obviously happening all over the neighborhood now. And for them to tell us that this is a neighborhood issue, I think is a little bit short-sighted. For us to, we need to talk to our neighbors. We need to, discuss things with our neighbors and be aware of these things. But at the end of the day, we're not going to be able to chase the criminals ourselves. So what happened with me was a unique circumstance that I don't think anybody should have to go through. And I think definitely this is a police matter, and there needs to be more police presence here.
I'm a resident of this community. Over the last 2 to 3 months, we've seen a lot of vehicle theft, even though many of the neighbors have cameras and are taking very precautionary measures. These criminals and thieves, they just don't care, and they're targeting vehicles, and they're stealing them, and they're sending them overseas. So it is definitely a concern. What we're looking for really is immediate action so that this issue can be taken care of and addressed.
आज हम अभी यहाँ पे जो है मीटिंग है रेजिडेंट्स की, जो कह सकते हैं विलियम पार्क वे और इस एरिया के अंदर क्रेड व्यू के अंदर। तो बेसिकली इस एरिया के अंदर काफ़ी चोरियाँ हो रही हैं, बहुत ज़्यादा चोरियाँ आ रही है, व्हीकल्स आर स्टोलन एवरी डे। लेकिन बात वही है, रिजल्ट वही है कि नथिंग इज़ हैपनिंग, नथिंग इज़ वर्किंग। तो हम यहाँ पे जो रेजिडेंट्स हैं, हमने अपनी आवाज़ उठाई है कि हमें मोर पुलिस प्रेजेंस चाहिए, हमें इस एरिया के अंदर पुलिस स्टेशन चाहिए, ताकि पुलिस की जो फ्रीक्वेंट मोमेंट भी होगी दैट विल डेटर द जो क्रिमिनल है उनको अवेयर रखेगी। बेसिकली जो भी आज यहाँ पे एमपी, एमपीपी, मेयर साहब या काउंसलर आए हैं, हमें नहीं लगता कि समथिंग विल वर्क बेटर। जो रेजिडेंट है उनको खुद अपनी सेफ्टी करनी पड़ेगी। लेकिन हम ये कहते हैं कि भाई आप इस एरिया के अंदर एक पुलिस स्टेशन ज़रूर बनाओ। ब्रैम्पटन कितना बड़ा, चारों तरफ आप देखते हो ब्रैम्पटन इज़ ग्रोन, सो व्हाई द पुलिस स्टेशंस आर नॉट इंक्रीजिंग इन नंबर। So we definitely need a police station in this area to make the residents safe and secure. The politicians just come, they give the speech and they go and after that nothing will work. So please listen to the residents. See, यहाँ पे आज सैकड़ों residents आए हैं, किस लिए आए हैं? Because they are concerned. उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स है, तो आप उनकी प्रॉब्लम को सोल्व करने के लिए हम आपको इलेक्ट करते हैं। तो आपकी जिम्मेवारी है कि आप अपने लेवल पे जो भी फंडिंग मिल सकती है, फंडिंग लेके पुलिस की प्रेजेंस बढ़ाइए और रेजिडेंट को सेफ रखिए।
Our car got stolen on Thanksgiving morning. We discovered it around 10 o'clock when we went out of the house to take the dog for a walk. It was parked on the driveway next to the garage. And the video footage, stagely, we have 3 or 4 cameras in the street. The camera at the end of the street caught the footage, but the camera, my camera, which was facing the drive, did not catch the footage.
Feeling of being very unsafe, even inside your house. There was 5 cars parked on the drive, and they decided to take the most expensive one, the Lexus, of course.
There was 1 car in the garage.
There is 1 car in the garage as well. Thankfully, what I'm scared about is what next. They were able to jam our cameras so that they didn't trigger off, and not just mine, all the neighbors in the street. All my neighbors, their cameras, none of the cameras picked anything up. What's next? Are they going to come into the house? That's our fear. We want the police to act on it. We want the politicians to act on it and come up with a solution.
I'm concerned about the safety in this area. The stolen cars. I noticed there are certain vehicles that's casing the neighborhood, and they're looking for, I guess, luxury vehicles. So those are my concerns.
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਮੈਂ ਜਸਵਿੰਦਰ ਕਾਲਰਾ, ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਰਿਚ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਤੋਂ। ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ ਦਾ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਏਰੀਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਅੱਜ ਕਾਰ ਥੈਫਟ ਦਾ। ਪਿਛਲੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਫੀ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲੀ ਹਾਈ ਐਂਡ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵਹੀਕਲਸ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਟੋਲਨ ਇੱਥੇ ਚੋਰੀਆਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ। ਆਈ ਵਾਜ਼ ਆਲਸੋ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਵਿਕਟਿਮ, ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅੱਜ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਚੀਫ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਨ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਡਿਵੀਜ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਪਲੱਸ MPP ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਿਸ ਖਹਿਰਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਔਰ ਅਮਰਜੀਤ ਸੰਧੂ ਹੋਣੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਸਟਰੀਟ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਾਰਡ 1 ਐਂਡ 5 ਦੇ ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਐਟ ਦ ਸੇਮ ਟਾਈਮ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ ਐਂਡ ਮਾਈ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਇਜ਼ ਸਟਿਲ ਦੇਅਰ ਇਨ ਅ ਵਨ ਲਾਈਨਰ ਹਾਊ ਐਂਡ ਵੈਨ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਉਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ ਪਰ again question is how and when. So please as a community we are together here, we stand together, but at the same time we definitely have to find out what is the solution of it.
I'm really glad to see that the whole community came together very quickly. So ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ community ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ. So it is great to see everybody together. We were able to gather over 100 people in the matter of couple of days after these thefts, and we were able to bring all levels of government right here in this park this morning at 11 o'clock, including the mayor, MPs, MPPs, police superintendent, crime prevention division, police, so there'll be increased police presence it seems here. So some steps have been discussed. Let's see, ਜਦੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਉਹ ਸਟੈਪਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ ਫਰਦਰ ਐਕਸੀਕਿਊਟ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ so it is great, but I think as a community we have to stick together in Credit Ridge neighborhood so that we can make it desirable and safer for all of us. Thank you.
So I'm here to talk about my experience of having 2 vehicles stolen within a 3-week span. I believe our neighborhood has been targeted, unfortunately, and we came here today to gather as a community to figure out how we can keep our neighborhood a lot safer. I think the important aspect that came out of this today is to recognize that all our neighbors are here because they care and they want to make sure that we recognize that things have to change here. Ultimately, in the end, it's going to come down to awareness and knowledge. If we're aware of what's happening with our neighbors, with their habits, then we'll be better off as a safer community.
Today, we organized a get-together amongst our neighborhood, and the agenda was to make awareness amongst our neighbors about the car thefts, robberies, and the break-ins. And there was a good get-together. A lot of neighbors turned in despite being a weekend. And it was a successful venture. The MPs, the MPP, the mayor, everyone was present. And I would personally like to thank everyone for showing up and making this a successful event.
First of all, Nitin ji, thank you very much for coming and covering this event. ये इवेंट को ऑर्गेनाइज करने का हमारा केवल एक ही मकसद था कि इस नेबरहुड में जो लोग रहते हैं वो अवेयर हों. मेरी भी मंडे को गाड़ी चोरी हुई है और मेरे नेबरहुड में एटलीस्ट 5 गाड़ियाँ चोरी हुई हैं मेरे नेक्स्ट डोर मेरे स्ट्रीट के पीछे. So we want to give awareness to everybody saying that guys wake up, and I don't think we will get the support from the government. So we need to जो करना है हमको अपने आप ही करना है और हमारी जो नेबरहुड में हमारे आसपास जो लोग रह रहे हैं we need to aware them, and that's why we arrange this in a very short notice, and we thanks to all the government officials, the police and everybody to show up here and listen to us. And we will keep on following on this with the provincial government and with the federal and with the city councillors and with the mayor also to follow up, and we will maybe make sure that our neighborhood here is secured for us and for our family and kids. Thank you Nitin ji once again for coming up and covering this up. Thank you.
ਸੋ ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਟਿਪਸ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ 'ਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਏ ਆ ਲਾਈਵ ਔਨ ਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗੇ. ਇੱਥੇ ਮੀਟਿੰਗ ਹੋਈ, ਇੱਥੇ 100 ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕ੍ਰੈਡਿਟ ਰਿਚ ਨੇਬਰਹੁਡ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋਏ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ WhatsApp ਗਰੁੱਪ ਬਣਾਏ, ਨੇਬਰਹੁਡ ਵਾਚ ਬਣਾਇਆ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਅਵੇਅਰਨੈਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ. ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ, ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਤੋਂ ਬੁਲਾਏ, MPP, ਫੈਡਰਲ ਤੋਂ MP, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਬੁਲਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ. ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਗਏ, ਅਕਾਊਂਟੇਬਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਿਆ. ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਔਰ ਕ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਤੋਂ ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਆਫੀਸਰਸ ਆਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਟਿਪਸ ਦਿੱਤੇ. ਸੋ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆ ਸਟੈਪ ਲੈਣੇ ਪੈਣੇ ਹੈ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟਿਪਸ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਛੋਟੇ ਬਾਕਸ ਡਾਲਰ ਸਟੋਰ ਤੋਂ ਖਰੀਦੇ ਜਾਣ, ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਗੱਡੀ ਤੋਂ ਵਿਨ ਨੰਬਰ ਹਟਾਇਆ ਜਾਏ. ਆਓ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਆ ਥੈਫਟ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਈਏ ਔਰ ਆਪਣਾ ਫਰਜ਼ ਵੀ ਨਿਭਾਈਏ. ਉਮੀਦ ਹੈ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਅੱਛਾ ਲੱਗਾ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ. ਅਸੀਂ ਫੇਰ ਕਿਸੇ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਜਾਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਰੂਬਰੂ ਜਲਦ ਹੋਵਾਂਗੇ. ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ.